Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Facts. Tonight, I invite you to leave the noise and the rush of the human world behind. We are going to step into a place that is usually overlooked, a world that exists right beneath our feet and just beyond our field of vision. It is a world of silence, of rhythm, and of ancient patterns. Tonight, we turn our attention to the insects. Often, we might think of them as small, buzzing distractions, but if you slow down enough, you will see that they are the original architects of this planet. They move with a purpose that is millions of years old. There is no rush in their world, only the steady beat of survival and existence. So settle in. Find your most comfortable position. Let your hands rest gently by your side, and unclench your jaw. Take a deep, slow breath in, filling your lungs completely, and as you exhale, let your shoulders drop down, away from your ears. Let the day's worries dissolve into the mattress beneath you. There is nothing you need to do right now, and nowhere else you need to be. Just listen to the quiet hum of nature's smallest creatures, and let them guide you gently towards sleep. Let's begin. To understand the relaxing nature of insects, we must first change the way we perceive size. In our human world, we are obsessed with the big, the loud, and the grand. But in the world of insects, life is experienced on a microscopic scale, where time seems to move differently. For a small insect, a single leaf is a vast forest to be explored, and a drop of rain is a shimmering pool that reflects the entire sky. Because they are so small, the world around them moves in slow motion. A falling leaf to an ant is not a quick event, but a slow, drifting journey that takes minutes to reach the ground. This slower perception of time means that insects are rarely in a panic. They move with a deliberate, almost meditative pace. They navigate their surroundings with a patience that we, in our hurried lives, have often forgotten. They remind us that there is beauty in taking things slow, in examining every detail of the path before us, and in moving through life with a gentle, steady rhythm. Imagine for a moment that you are shrinking down, smaller and smaller, until the grass blades tower above you like ancient trees. The sun filters through them in soft, green shafts of light. The air is still, and the only sound is the gentle rustle of the vegetation around you. This is the world they live in every single day. Consider the butterfly, a creature that is often seen as a symbol of transformation, but is also a master of silent flight. Unlike birds, which often announce their presence with loud calls, butterflies move through the air in absolute silence. Their wings are not just colorful patterns for us to admire. They are intricate structures of overlapping scales, catching the light like tiny mosaics of stained glass. When a butterfly flutters by, it does not cut through the air with force. It rides the currents, dipping and rising with the gentle breeze. There is a fragility to them that teaches us about letting go. A butterfly begins its life in a completely different form, bound to the earth, crawling slowly as a caterpillar. It then enters the chrysalis, a dark, quiet womb where it dissolves and rebuilds itself. This process is not rushed. It happens in its own time, hidden from the outside world, in the deep, restful silence of a cocoon. When it finally emerges, it does so with wet, folded wings, waiting patiently for them to dry and harden in the sun before it takes its first flight. This cycle of life, death, and rebirth happens without sound, without struggle, and with a natural grace that is deeply soothing. Watching a butterfly hover over a flower is like watching a meditation in motion. It does not grasp or grab, it simply lands, tastes the nectar with gentle feet, and moves on, leaving the flower undisturbed. And then there are the moths, the quiet cousins of the butterfly, who carry the mystery of the night on their wings. While butterflies dance in the daylight, moths are the guardians of the dark. They have evolved over millions of years to navigate through the blackest night using a sensitivity to light that is nothing short of miraculous. Many moths use the moon as their compass, keeping it at a fixed angle to maintain a steady path across the ground. This ancient connection to the celestial bodies reminds us that even in the deepest darkness, there is always a light to guide us, if only we know where to look. The flight of a moth is erratic to our eyes, a zigzagging pattern that seems playful and free, but to them, it is a precise method of avoiding predators and searching for the faint scent of night-blooming flowers. There is a softness to moths, their bodies often covered in a thick fuzz that feels like velvet to the touch. This fuzz serves a purpose, insulating them against the chill of the night air. It allows them to remain active and peaceful even when the rest of the world goes cold and quiet. They remind us that we, too, can wrap ourselves in warmth and find comfort in the darkness, rather than fearing it. Have you ever watched a bee sleep? It is a sight that few people ever get to see, yet it is one of the most peaceful images in nature. We often think of bees as constantly busy, always working, always flying from flower to flower. But bees, just like us, need rest. When a honeybee sleeps, it finds a quiet spot deep inside the hive or sometimes tucked inside a flower. It will stop moving its antennae, its wings will fold flat against its back, and its body will go completely still. The bee's breathing slows down, and it enters a deep state of slumber. Scientists have observed that sleeping bees can be so deeply asleep that you can gently tickle them without waking them up. Seeing a bee curled up inside a flower, covered in a blanket of soft petals, with only its head poking out, is a reminder that rest is a universal necessity. No matter how important your work is, no matter how many flowers you need to visit, there comes a time when you must simply stop and close your eyes. The hive continues its gentle hum even while the bees sleep, a collective vibration that acts like a lullaby for the entire colony. It is a sound of community, of thousands of tiny beings resting together, safe and warm, breathing in unison. It is the original sound machine, a natural drone that invites us to join them in sleep. In the stillness of a garden, you might find the dragonfly, a creature that has mastered the art of stillness in flight. Dragonflies are ancient insects, having flown over the earth for over 300 million years, long before the dinosaurs ever walked the land. They are the masters of the air, capable of hovering in a fixed position with absolute stability, without moving a single muscle. They can fly forward, backward, sideways, and even upside down, yet they often choose to simply hang in the air, suspended in a moment of perfect calm. Their wings are transparent, shimmering with an iridescent glow that catches the sunlight like a prism. When they are not hunting, they often perch on a reed or a branch, perfectly still, their compound eyes observing the world in a wide panoramic view. There is a sense of patience in their stillness. They do not twitch or fidget, they wait. They wait for the wind to die down, they wait for the perfect moment to move. In their presence, time seems to slow down. The whirring of their wings is barely a whisper, a soft hum that blends into the background noise of a summer afternoon. To watch a dragonfly is to witness a mastery of balance, a living example of how to stay centered amidst the chaos of movement. They teach us that you can move with great speed and power, but you can also choose to stop, to hover, and to just be. The world of insects is also defined by the concept of molting, or shedding one's skin to grow. This is a gentle, albeit vulnerable, process of renewal. When an insect outgrows its exoskeleton, it must break free from its old self to make room for the new. This process happens slowly and carefully. The insect finds a safe, hidden spot, anchoring itself so it won't fall. Then, with a slow, rhythmic pressure, it splits the old shell open and pulls itself out, leaving behind a perfect, empty ghost of its former self. The new shell underneath is soft and pale at first, giving the insect a ghostly, delicate appearance. It must wait patiently for the air to harden its new skin before it can move again. This act of molting is repeated throughout their lives, a constant reminder that growth requires letting go of the past. It is a quiet transformation that happens out of sight, hidden under leaves or buried in the soil. It is not violent or sudden, it is a natural progression, a slow unfolding of the self. As you lie here, think of how you, too, are constantly growing and changing, shedding the worries of the day to make room for the peace of the night. Just like the insect, you are softening, hardening only when you are ready to face the world again. For now, remain in this soft, vulnerable state of rest. Deep in the soil, The ants continue their endless work, not with panic, but with a steady, rhythmic efficiency that feels almost hypnotic. They move in lines that look like rivers of tiny black pearls flowing over the earth. Each ant knows its role, not because it was told what to do, but because it responds to the needs of the colony. There is a profound sense of we in the insect world. The individual is small, but the collective is a superorganism, a single, living entity made of thousands of parts. When you watch ants, you are watching the flow of energy itself. They carry leaves many times their own weight, not straining against the burden, but moving with it, their legs moving in a perfect synchronized march. The underground cities they build are marvels of engineering, with tunnels for air, chambers for food, and nurseries for the young, all maintained without a single blueprint or a spoken word. The order emerges from the chaos, not through force, but through simple, local interactions. It is a society built on touch and scent, on the vibration of a leg or the wave of an antenna. It is a world of quiet communication, where a message can spread through a whole colony in seconds without a sound being made. As you listen to the silence of your room, imagine the deep, silent hum of the earth beneath you, the countless tunnels and chambers, the tiny feet walking in the dark, all working together to create a safe, warm home. We often associate sound with insects, specifically the chirping of crickets. But if you listen closely, the chirp of a cricket is not a noise, it is a rhythm, a natural metronome for the night. The sound is produced by the cricket rubbing its wings together, one acting like a file and the other like a scraper. It is a gentle friction, a soft rubbing that creates a pure tone. This chirping is often used to calculate temperature. The number of chirps in a minute can tell you how warm the air is. But for us, it serves a different purpose. It is a white noise that masks the silence of the night, filling the void with a steady, predictable pulse. It is the sound of the earth breathing, of the summer night settling in. There is no urgency in a cricket's song. It is a slow, rhythmic repetition that lulls the brain into a state of relaxation. It reminds us that the world is still alive, even when we are sleeping. The sound wraps around you like a blanket, a familiar, comforting signal that all is well. You can let your breathing sync with this imagined rhythm. In for a beat, out for a beat. Slow, steady, and calm. As we move through this first part of our journey, consider the incredible resilience of the insect world. They have survived ice ages, asteroid impacts, and the shifting of continents. They have done so not by being the biggest or the strongest, but by being adaptable, by being small, and by working together. They remind us that there is strength in stillness and power in numbers. They do not worry about the future, they simply live in the moment, responding to the cues of the present. If it rains, they seek shelter. If the sun shines, they forage. They flow with the reality of what is, rather than fighting against it. There is a lesson here for our sleep. Often we fight sleep because our minds are racing with what ifs and if onlys. But tonight, take a leaf out of the insect's book. Be like the bee in the flower, or the ant in the tunnel. Accept the darkness, accept the warmth, and simply be. Allow the heavy weight of the covers to ground you, just as the insect is grounded by the earth. Feel the support beneath you, knowing that you are safe, you are small in the best possible way, and you are held by the night. The diversity of the insect world is endless, a kaleidoscope of shapes and textures that defy imagination. There are beetles with shells that look like polished jewels, reflecting the green and gold of the forest. There are walking sticks that look exactly like twigs, swaying gently in the breeze to mimic the movement of the plants they rest on. Their camouflage is not just a disguise, it is a deep, artistic imitation of nature. They have evolved to look like the thing they are sitting on, blurring the line between the creature and its home. This teaches us about the power of blending in, of finding your place in the environment and belonging there. The walking stick does not try to be a butterfly, it is content to be a branch. It is happy to sway in silence, unnoticed and undisturbed. There is a profound peace in simply existing as you are, without the need to stand out or shout for attention. Imagine yourself right now blending into the bed, becoming one with the mattress and the pillows. There is no need to move, no need to be anyone or anything else. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. As we drift deeper into this quiet world, leaving the camouflage of the walking stick behind, let us turn our gaze toward the twilight hours, where the air begins to cool and the first stars appear. This is the time when the day transitions into the mystery of the night, and it is here that we find one of the most gentle spectacles in the natural world, the soft glow of the firefly. Fireflies are not truly flies, nor are they bugs. They are beetles, creatures of the earth that carry their own light within them. Imagine sitting on a porch on a warm summer evening, the grass cool beneath your feet, watching the darkness fill with tiny, floating lanterns. The light they produce is unlike the harsh, artificial light of our homes. It is a cold light, a chemical reaction called bioluminescence that creates a soft yellow-green glow without producing any heat. It is a peaceful light, a light meant for communication, not for burning. Each pulse is a whisper, a silent message flashed across the dark to attract a mate or define a territory. There is a rhythm to their flashing, a slow, steady beat that varies between species. Some flash quickly, like a heartbeat in a hurry, while others flash with a long, slow pause in between, holding the light for a moment before letting it fade. Watching them is like watching the stars blink in and out of existence. It is a reminder that even in the darkest of times, we have the capacity to find our own light from within, and to shine it softly into the world, not to blind or to overwhelm, but simply to be seen. Now let us move from the air above to the water below, to a place where the surface tension holds the world together like a delicate skin. Here, we find the water striders. These insects have evolved to walk on water, not by swimming, but by skating across the surface with effortless grace. Their long, slender legs are coated in microscopic hairs that trap air, keeping them buoyant and dry. From our perspective, they seem to defy gravity, gliding over the mirror-smooth surface of a pond as if it were solid ground. Watching a water strider is a lesson in balance. They do not struggle to stay afloat. They simply trust the surface to hold them. They move with a silent gliding motion, leaving tiny dimples on the water that expand outward in concentric rings, distorting the reflection of the sky above. To them, the surface of the water is a vast, flat landscape where they can hunt, rest, and find each other. They can sense the vibrations of a struggling insect that has fallen into the water, ripples that travel through the surface skin like a message in code, guiding them to their food. There is a profound sense of calm in their movement. They do not splash, they do not thrash, they slide. Imagine yourself right now, gliding on your own surface of calm, supported by the water, moving smoothly without resistance. The water holds you up, just as the bed holds you up. You are safe, you are buoyant, and you are drifting. When the days grow shorter and the air turns crisp, many insects do not struggle against the coming cold. They simply embrace the need for rest. The ladybug is a perfect example of this gentle surrender. Throughout the summer, these tiny, spotted beetles are active hunters, roaming the leaves for aphids. But as autumn approaches, they seek a warm, sheltered place to spend the winter. Often they gather in large groups, clustering together in the cracks of tree bark, under rocks, or sometimes in the quiet corners of our homes. This behavior is called aggregation. Dozens, sometimes hundreds, of ladybugs will huddle together, sharing their body heat to stay warm during the long, freezing months. To find them is to find a pile of tiny, living jewels, all sleeping soundly, their bright red shells tucked away from the wind. They enter a state of dormancy, slowing their heart rates and breathing to a minimum. They do not worry about the snow outside or the frozen ground. They trust in their shelter and in the warmth of their neighbors. They teach us that there are times when we must withdraw from the world, when we must find a quiet corner and wrap ourselves in warmth, trusting that the spring will come again. As you lie here, imagine the comfort of being nestled in a warm, safe pile, surrounded by others who are also drifting off to sleep, protected from the cold wind of the world outside. In the garden, amidst the tall grass and the swaying flowers, we often see the praying mantis. This insect is a statue of patience. Its name comes from the way it holds its front legs folded together, as if in a perpetual state of prayer. It is an upright, elegant creature with a triangular head that can rotate 180 degrees, watching the world with large, calm eyes. Unlike other insects that dart about frantically, the mantis is content to be still. It can remain motionless for hours, blending perfectly with the leaves and stems around it, indistinguishable from the swaying vegetation. It waits in stillness, not out of laziness, but out of a deep, focused calm. It knows that rushing creates errors, and that patience is the most effective hunter. There is a tranquility in its posture. It is not aggressive, it is poised. It reminds us of the power of stillness. In our busy lives, we often feel the need to constantly move, to constantly do. But the mantis shows us that simply sitting, being present, and observing is a valid and powerful way to exist. Tonight, mimic the mantis. Let your hands rest gently. Let your body be still. There is no need to rush, no need to hunt for solutions to problems that are not here. Just be. Beneath our feet, under the shade of old trees, a different kind of silence is maintained by the cicada nymphs. These are the immature forms of the cicadas we hear singing in the trees. While the adults sing their loud, buzzing songs in the heat of summer, the nymphs spend years, sometimes up to 17 years, living in the cool, dark solitude of the underground. They burrow deep into the soil, feeding on the sap from tree roots. Down there, in the dark earth, there is no sun, no wind, and no noise. It is a world of constant, damp darkness. The nymphs move slowly through the soil, digging tunnels with their strong front legs. Their life is a long, slow wait. They are counting the years in the dark, waiting for the moment when the soil temperature is just right to climb up into the world. Imagine spending years in a quiet, dark room, waiting patiently for the right moment to emerge. It is a concept of time that is completely foreign to us, a lesson in extreme patience. They are not bored, they are simply existing, growing, and preparing. The darkness is not frightening to them, it is their home, their protection. As you close your eyes and feel the darkness of your own room, think of the cicada nymph, safe and secure in the dark earth, resting in the cool soil, knowing that it has all the time it needs. If we look closely at the leaves of a garden plant, we might find the intricate, silken webs of the lacewing larvae. These are delicate, green creatures with long, curved mandibles, but it is not their mouths that are most interesting, it is their method of disguise and protection. Some lacewing larvae take debris from the environment, pieces of moss, bark, lichens, and even the dried bodies of their prey, and stick them to their backs. They create a cloak, a little backpack of camouflage that makes them look like a moving piece of the forest floor. This behavior is not functional in the usual sense, it is artistic and creative. Each larva constructs its own unique cloak, a patchwork of the world it lives in. They wander the leaves, covered in bits of the earth, hidden from predators not because they hide in a hole, but because they become part of the texture of the world. It is a gentle reminder that we can carry our world with us, that we can blend in with our surroundings. As you lie here, feel the texture of the blanket against your skin. It is your cloak, your protection. You are wrapped in softness, hidden away from the worries of the day, blending into the peace of the night. Let us now consider the incredible journey of the monarch butterfly, not for its flight, but for its migration. Monarchs are known for traveling thousands of miles to reach the warm forests of Mexico for the winter. But what is most relaxing about this is the concept of the supergeneration. The monarchs that leave in the autumn are different from the ones that live in the summer. They are larger, stronger, and live much longer, up to 8 or 9 months, while a summer butterfly lives only a few weeks. These butterflies have never been to Mexico before, yet they follow an ancient, invisible map encoded in their DNA. They fly lazily, riding the thermals, flapping only when necessary, drifting southwards like orange and black leaves blown by the wind. When they arrive at their destination, they cluster by the thousands on the branches of the oyamo fir trees. The trees become blanketed in orange, the branches bowing under the weight of resting butterflies. It is a sanctuary of silence and sleep. The forest is cool and misty, and the butterflies hang there, wings folded, sleeping together, conserving their energy for the return journey in the spring. It is a testament to the power of following a quiet instinct, of trusting a path you have never walked but know is right. They drift towards warmth, and tonight, you too can drift towards the warmth of your bed, guided by the instinct to rest. There is a specific sound that often goes unnoticed because it is so faint, the sound of a moth beating its wings against the window pane. It is a soft, rhythmic tapping, a gentle tick-tick-tick. It is a sound of trying to find the light. While it might seem frantic, there is a persistence in it that is oddly calming. It is a small, soft creature trying to reach the glow it senses beyond the glass. In the grand silence of the night, this tiny sound stands out as a reminder of life's quiet determination. But more peaceful than the moth at the window is the moth in the wild. Consider the Atlas moth, one of the largest moths in the world. Its wings are a beautiful tapestry of reddish brown and pink, with patterns that look like the heads of snakes to scare away predators. But the Atlas moth does not eat. As an adult, it has no mouth. It lives off the fat reserves it stored as a caterpillar. It exists only for a few short days, its sole purpose to find a mate and lay eggs. Without the need to eat, its life is simplified. There is no foraging, no hunting, no searching for food. It simply flies or rests, drifting through the short life it has. It is a life of pure existence, unburdened by hunger. It is a fascinating concept of enough, having enough reserves to just be. Tonight you too have enough. You have done enough, eaten enough, worked enough. There is no hunger in your bed, only the need to rest, to be like the moth, existing in a state of suspended peace. Finally, let us think about the microscopic world of a single drop of dew on a blade of grass, and the tiny insect that might call that drop home. In the morning, the world is covered in millions of these tiny liquid jewels. For a small insect, a drop of dew is a vast, slippery sphere. Some insects, like the beetle, might get stuck for a moment, drinking their fill from the cool, pure water. Others might see the world magnified through the curve of the drop, seeing a distorted, wobbly view of the garden. The world of the insect is one where water is a landscape, a place to drink, to bathe, and to slide. Imagine for a moment that you are that small. You are walking on a green bridge of grass. You come to a crystal sphere. It is cool against your skin. You drink, and the water is sweet. The sun shines through it, creating rainbows on your tiny face. There is no rush. You are in a world of giants, the trees, the flowers, but you are safe in your own tiny, beautiful world. Everything is relative. Your bed right now is your own private world, your own safe haven. The sheets are your grass, the pillow your cloud. You are small and safe within the walls of this room, drifting off to sleep, just like the tiny insect resting in the shade of a leaf. Leaving the world of dewdrops and microscopic landscapes behind, let us drift upward, towards the canopy of the trees, where a different kind of quiet engineering takes place. Here, we find the weaver ants, nature's silent tailors and architects. While many ants dig dark tunnels in the earth, the weaver ant chooses to live in the sunlight, high among the leaves. Their homes are not dug from dirt but stitched together from living green. The process of building a weaver ant nest is one of the most cooperative and gentle acts in the insect world. It begins when ants link their bodies together to form chains, pulling and holding the edges of leaves together, closing the gap until the leaves touch like hands clasped in prayer. This bridge of living bodies holds the tension while the workers use their larvae, the colony's youngest members, like tools of creation. They gently pick up a larva in their jaws and stimulate it to produce silk, using this soft, sticky thread to sew the leaves together. It is a slow, rhythmic weaving. The larva is not harmed, it is simply a spinner, aiding the colony. The result is a fortress of green, a shelter that sways gently in the wind, breathing with the tree it is attached to. To watch them work is to see a society moving in perfect unity. There is no shouting, no confusion, just a shared goal of creating a safe, warm home. It is a reminder that we, too, can build our sanctuaries, pulling the pieces of our lives together with patience and care, creating a safe space where we can rest. From the treetops, let our gaze fall to the forest floor, where the ground is covered in a soft, brown blanket of leaves and soil. Here, we might witness the steady, circular journey of the dung beetle. To some, this might seem unclean, but if you look closer, you will see a creature of incredible dedication and celestial navigation. The dung beetle rolls a perfectly shaped ball of dung, often many times its own size, across the uneven terrain. It pushes with its back legs, moving in a straight line with determination that is almost meditative. It is not just rolling food, it is rolling a cradle for its future young. What makes this insect truly fascinating is that it navigates using the stars. On clear, moonless nights, the dung beetle looks to the Milky Way, that faint, glowing band of light that stretches across the sky, to orient itself. It is the only insect known to navigate by the galaxy. Imagine a tiny insect, rolling its heavy burden through the dark forest, pausing every now and then to climb to the top of its ball, look up at the vast expanse of the universe, and reset its course. There is a profound connection here between the smallest creature on the ground and the vast expanse of the cosmos. It teaches us that even when we are carrying a heavy burden, we can find our way by looking up, by connecting to something larger than ourselves. The beetle's journey is slow, it is steady, and it is guided by the eternal light of the stars. As we continue our walk through the forest, we might come across a small, cone-shaped pit in the dry sand. This is the trap of the antlion, a creature that masters the art of stillness and patience. The antlion larva digs this funnel in the sand and buries itself at the very bottom, hidden from sight. It waits. It does not chase its prey, it lets the prey come to it. When a small ant or beetle walks too close to the edge of the pit, the loose sand gives way, and the prey slides down into the trap. The antlion does not panic, it does not strike frantically. It uses its large, flat head to flick sand at the struggling prey, knocking it back down if it tries to climb up. This is a slow, rhythmic bombardment. The antlion creates a miniature landslide, keeping the prey trapped until it is within reach. The geometry of the pit is perfect, designed to catch gravity and use it as an ally. Watching an antlion wait is like watching a monk in meditation. It is entirely focused, entirely still. It knows that if it waits long enough, sustenance will come. It conserves its energy, remaining motionless for hours or even days. This is a deep lesson in the power of doing nothing, in trusting that the world will provide what is needed if we are patient and prepared. Tonight, like the antlion, you do not need to chase sleep. You only need to lie in your pit, your bed, and wait, allowing the sand of the day to slide away from you. Let us turn our attention now to the sound of the summer air, a low, steady hum that vibrates through the leaves. This is the song of the cicada, a sound that defines the heat of the season. But rather than focusing on the noise, let us focus on the life cycle behind it. The cicada spends years underground in the dark, drinking sap from roots, growing slowly in the cool, silent earth. When the time is right, it emerges, climbs up a tree trunk, and splits its skin to become a winged adult. Its life above ground is short, a few brief weeks of singing, flying, and mating. The song itself is produced by a drum-like organ on their abdomen called a timbal. They flex this membrane rapidly to create the sound. It is a vibration, a pulse of pure energy. But here is the relaxing part. The cicada does not sing for us. It sings for itself and its kin. It is a collective declaration of existence. When thousands of them sing together, the sound becomes a wall of sound, a constant drone that blocks out the rest of the world. It is a white noise of nature. Imagine lying in a hammock in the deep woods, where the sun is warm, and the air is filled with this constant, undulating hum. It drowns out your thoughts, it drowns out your worries, until all you feel is the vibration and the heat. It is a sonic blanket, wrapping you in the safety of a billion tiny hearts beating together. Let that hum wash over you now, a steady drone in the back of your mind, calming your nervous system. In the garden, hovering like a tiny ghost over a flower, we find the hummingbird hawk moth. This insect blurs the line between moth and bird. It feeds on the nectar of flowers while hovering in midair, its wings beating so fast they become a blur. But unlike a hummingbird, it is silent. It moves with a sudden, darting grace, hovering for a moment, sipping to the side, and then returning to the flower. Its long proboscis, a straw-like tongue, uncurls to dip deep into the flower's heart. The colors of the hummingbird hawk moth are soft oranges and browns, blending perfectly with the twilight. It is active during the day but especially at dusk, when the light begins to fade. Watching it is like watching a secret. It moves so quickly that your eyes can barely track it, yet it seems to hang suspended in time when it feeds. It is a creature of high energy but gentle purpose. It does not land on the flower, burdening it with its weight. It floats above it, taking what it needs without disturbing the petals. There is a lightness to its being, a refusal to be weighed down by gravity. As you lie in your bed, imagine the sensation of hovering, of being weightless, of floating just above the ground, unburdened by the heaviness of the day. You are light, you are drifting, and you are at peace. Consider now the slow, heavy movement of the stag beetle. These beetles are the armored tanks of the insect world, with large mandibles that look like the antlers of a stag. Despite their formidable appearance, they are gentle giants of the forest floor. They move with a clumsy, deliberate slowness. They do not scurry, they plod. They walk over moss and logs with a heavy, thudding step. Their armor is hard and shiny, protecting them from the world. The male beetles may wrestle with each other for territory or a mate, lifting their opponents into the air in a slow, deliberate dance of strength. It is not a fight to the death, but a contest of balance and power. Once it is over, they go their separate ways. The stag beetle reminds us of the strength found in slowness. You do not need to be fast to be strong. You do not need to rush to be powerful. Their shell protects them, just as your sheets protect you. Inside your own shell, your own body, you are safe. You are grounded, heavy, and secure. The world outside can rush and scramble, but you remain still, like a stone in the stream, letting the water flow around you. Let us drift now to the water's edge again, where the lily pads float. Here, we find the damselfly. Similar to the dragonfly but smaller and more delicate, the damselfly holds its wings closed together along its back when it rests, folding them neatly like a closed book. It is a posture of elegance and containment. The damselfly's body is often a metallic blue or green, shimmering in the sunlight. When it flies, it is weak compared to the dragonfly, fluttering slowly through the reeds. It prefers to stay close to the shelter of the plants, rarely venturing out into the open wind. It is a homebody, an insect that likes the comfort of the shallows. Its large eyes scan the world for tiny gnats, its head moving independently of its body, tracking movement with a calm detachment. To watch a damselfly land on a reed is to see a moment of perfect stillness. It folds its wings, adjusts its grip on the stem, and becomes one with the plant. It reminds us of the importance of folding our wings sometimes, of closing our colorful thoughts and worries away, and simply sitting on our stem. We do not always need to be flying, exploring, or hunting. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is fold our wings and rest, anchored to a safe spot, watching the world go by. Deep within the decaying wood of an old oak tree, a hidden network of tunnels hums with life. These are the galleries of the wood-boring beetles. They spend their entire lives, from egg to adult, inside the wood. They carve intricate tunnels, eating their way through the hard cellulose, aided by microscopic fungi that break down the wood for them. It is a dark, enclosed world. There is no sunlight, no rain, just the constant temperature and smell of old wood. For us, this might seem claustrophobic, but for the beetle, it is a sanctuary. It is a protected corridor where they can move safely, hidden from birds that might want to eat them. Their entire life cycle happens in this darkness. They grow, they pupate, they emerge, they mate, and they lay new eggs, all within the same log. It is a life of deep introspection, a journey into the heart of the tree. Imagine the smell of the wood, earthy, rich, and grounding. Imagine the safety of being surrounded by walls of wood, thick and protective. It is a return to the womb. Tonight, your bed is your wooden tunnel. The walls around you are your protection. You are inside, safe from the wind, safe from the eyes of the world, surrounded by the comforting smell of your own sanctuary. Finally, let us think about the concept of diapause in insects. This is a word scientists use to describe a period of suspended development, similar to hibernation but much deeper. Many insects enter diapause to survive winter. It is not just sleep, it is a pause in life itself. Their heart rate drops almost to zero. Their metabolism slows down to a fraction of its normal speed. They stop growing. They stop moving. They become like statues made of chitin and flesh, waiting in the frozen soil or under the loose bark of a tree. They can stay like this for months, indifferent to the snow and the ice. They are not suffering in the cold, they are simply existing in a state of suspended time. It is a total surrender to the environment. They do not fight the winter, they accept it. They let the cold become a part of them. This is the deepest form of rest imaginable. It is a pause button on life. When the warmth of the sun finally returns and touches the soil, they do not rush. They slowly come back to life. They thaw, they stretch, and they begin to move again. As you feel the warmth of your bed, imagine that you are in a state of diapause. You are suspended in time. The clock does not matter. The morning does not matter. You are frozen in a moment of perfect rest, waiting only for the gentle warmth of sleep to thaw you whenever it is ready. Emerging from the deep, frozen sleep of the earth, let us turn our eyes to structures that rise from the ground like silent mountains on the plains. These are the termite mounds. In the vast savannas of Africa and the tropical forests of South America, these towers can reach heights of 30 feet or more. To us, they look like hard clay sculptures, jagged and solid. But to the insect, they are living lungs. The termite mound is an architectural marvel of passive cooling and heating. It is built not by a blueprint, but by a collective understanding of airflow. The termites construct a network of vents and tunnels that allow the air to circulate constantly, keeping the internal temperature perfect and the humidity stable, regardless of whether it is scorching hot or freezing cold outside. The mound breathes. The warm, stale air from the nest rises through a central chimney and escapes through the porous flutes on the outer surface, while fresh, cool air is drawn in from the bottom. This happens without a single fan, without a single wire, without any energy other than the sun and the wind. It is a humbling example of how to live in harmony with the environment. The insects inside do not fight the heat. They build a home that dances with it. Imagine the silence inside these towering cathedrals of mud. Thousands of termites working in the dark, the air moving gently around them, a constant, cooling draft keeping their home comfortable. It is a reminder that we do not need to force our environment. We can build our lives to flow with it, creating our own sanctuaries of peace. Now let us descend from these clay towers into the darkness of the soil once more, but this time into a world of soft, white growth. Here, we find the farmers of the insect world, the leafcutter ants. While we have touched upon them before, the true relaxation lies in the nature of their crop. They do not eat the leaves they carry, they feed them to a fungus. Deep within their underground chambers, they maintain vast, white gardens of fungal mycelium. This fungus is their food source, their lifeblood. It is a fluffy, white web that grows slowly and steadily. The ants tend to this garden with the care of a master gardener. They prune it, they water it with their own saliva, and they keep it free of pests. The relationship between the ant and the fungus is millions of years old. They have evolved together, bound by a silent contract. The fungus feeds the ants, and the ants protect the fungus. It is a symbiotic partnership, a union of two different species acting as one. Imagine the silence of those deep chambers. No sun reaches them, but the fungus glows softly in the dark. The air is thick and humid, smelling of damp earth and fresh growth. It is a world of quiet cultivation, of nurturing rather than taking. As you lie in your bed, imagine that you are tending to a garden inside yourself, a garden of peace, watering it with your slow breath, pruning away the worries of the day, until only the soft, white fungus of sleep remains. Moving from the underground gardens to the branches of oak trees, we discover the strange and secret world of the gall. A gall is a growth on a plant, a swelling of tissue, often round and hard, that looks like a fruit or a nut. But it is not a fruit. It is a house built by a tiny insect, usually a wasp, to protect its young. The wasp lays an egg inside the leaf or stem, and it releases a chemical that tricks the tree into growing this protective shell around it. The gall is a nursery. It is perfectly smooth on the outside, shielding the larva inside from wind, rain, and predators. Inside, the larva is surrounded by soft, nutritious tissue. It does not need to hunt. It does not need to dig. It simply eats the food the tree has provided and waits until it is strong enough to emerge. The gall is a hidden world, a secret room inside a larger world. It is a reminder that even in the harshest conditions, nature creates cradles. The tree does not attack the insect. It shelters it, unknowingly creating a safe haven. Tonight, your bed is your gall. Your walls are the protective shell. You are the larva, safe inside, fed by the energy of the day, resting in a soft, dark room where nothing can touch you. The world outside can do what it likes, but inside this shell, you are safe. Let us now look up into the canopy of the night forest, where the moonlight filters through the leaves like silver water. Here floats the Luna moth. It is one of the most beautiful creatures in the insect kingdom. Its wings are a pale, ethereal green, the color of a new leaf. They are long, tapering into elegant tails that stream behind it like the train of a gown. The Luna moth has no mouth. It does not eat. It exists for only a week, living purely to reproduce. Because it does not eat, it is unburdened by the hunt for food. It flies only at night, drawn to the light of the moon, a ghost of the forest. Its life is short, but it is peaceful. It is a creature of silence and beauty. The spots on its wings look like eyes, false eyes meant to scare away predators, but to us, they look like mirrors of the soul. When the Luna moth lands, it spreads its wings wide, displaying its beauty in the darkness. It teaches us that life does not need to be long to be beautiful. It does not need to be filled with noise to be meaningful. It is enough to simply be beautiful for a moment, to float in the moonlight, to be seen and then to fade away. As you close your eyes, visualize that soft green light, the gentle fluttering of long tails, and the peace of a life without hunger. In the quiet corners of the garden, a gentle exchange takes place. It involves the aphid and the ant. Aphids are small, soft-bodied insects that feed on the sap of plants. They are slow, almost sedentary creatures. The ants, however, have formed a contract with them. The ants protect the aphids from predators like ladybugs or lacewings, and in return, the aphids provide a sweet, sticky liquid called honeydew. It is like milking a cow. The ant will gently stroke the aphid with its antennae, encouraging it to release a drop of honeydew, which the ant then drinks. It is a symbiotic relationship, a mutualistic dance. There is no violence in this exchange, only a gentle transaction. The aphid gets a bodyguard, the ant gets a meal. It is a reminder that cooperation is often more peaceful than competition. We often think of nature as red in tooth and claw, but here, on the stem of a rosebush, two very different species are helping each other survive. It is a soft, slow rhythm. Stroke the aphid, drink the drop. Stroke the aphid, drink the drop. Imagine that rhythm now. A gentle, repetitive motion that brings comfort and sustenance. No need to fight, no need to rush, just a simple exchange of care. Let us visit the surface of a still pond, where the water is like a dark mirror. Here, we find the water boatman. It is a small, oval insect that swims underwater. It uses its long, oar-like hind legs to row itself through the water. But the water boatman has a secret. It carries its own air supply with it. Tiny bubbles of air cling to the hairs on its body and underneath its wings. It is like a suit of silver armor. As it dives to the bottom of the pond to feed on algae and debris, it takes a piece of the sky down with it. The bubble of air acts like a physical gill, allowing the boatman to breathe underwater. It is a tiny diver, exploring the depths of the pond without fear of drowning. The movement of the boatman is graceful. It does not splash. It glides, rowing silently through the weeds. It is a creature of the shadows, hidden from the birds above, safe in its underwater world. Imagine the sensation of being underwater, floating in a cocoon of air, surrounded by the cool, gentle pressure of the water. It is a quiet, weightless existence. You are carrying your own air, your own source of calm, wherever you go. You are buoyant, you are safe, and you are drifting. Consider now the elephant hawk moth. It is a robust, furry moth, colored in soft pinks and olives. It gets its name from its caterpillar, which has a face that looks remarkably like the trunk of an elephant. When the caterpillar feels threatened, it retracts its head, making itself look larger and displaying large eye spots on its rear. But when it is not threatened, it is a peaceful giant. The adult moth is a hummingbird of the night. It hovers over honeysuckle and other night-blooming flowers, drinking the nectar with its long proboscis. Its body is covered in soft hairs that give it a velvety texture. It is a gentle creature, harmless and beautiful. The colors of the moth, rose and olive, are colors of relaxation and nature. Seeing an elephant hawk moth hovering in the twilight is like seeing a stuffed animal come to life, a toy that has been granted flight. It moves with a heavy, buzzing sound, but it is a soothing sound, like a distant motor. It reminds us that there is a gentle strength in being soft. You do not need to be hard or sharp to survive. You can be furry, soft, and vulnerable, and still find your way through the darkness. In the dark caves of New Zealand, a different kind of star shines. This is the glowworm. The glowworm is the larva of a fungus gnat, but it is its larval stage that is most magical. It hangs from the ceiling of the cave on a thread of silk, and it glows with a bright blue-green light. This light is not for beauty, but for hunting. It attracts insects that are drawn to the light, and the glowworm catches them in its sticky threads. But to the observer, a cave full of glowworms is like looking up at the Milky Way. The ceiling of the cave is dotted with thousands of tiny, blue stars. It is a silent galaxy in the dark. The air in the cave is still and damp. The water flows quietly below. There is no wind, no noise, just the soft glow of the worms. It is a place of absolute quiet and wonder. To stand in that cave is to feel small and insignificant in the best possible way. You are just a speck of dust beneath a universe of stars. The glowworms hang there, motionless, fishing in the dark, creating beauty as a byproduct of their existence. Tonight, imagine your room as that cave. The darkness around you is vast and safe. Above you, a galaxy of blue stars hangs in silence. You are beneath the stars, drifting in the quiet dark. Finally, let us look at the flight of the swallowtail butterfly. Unlike the erratic flight of smaller butterflies, the swallowtail has a majestic, gliding flight. It flaps its wings, once, twice, and then it sails. It rides the air currents with its wings spread wide, displaying their yellow and black patterns. It barely seems to move. It glides over the garden, dipping down to inspect a flower, and then soaring back up into the sky. It is a master of energy efficiency. It uses the wind to carry it, reserving its strength for when it needs it. The long tails of its wings trail behind it, fluttering in the breeze like ribbons. It is a creature of the open air, enjoying the freedom of the sky. Watching a swallowtail is a lesson in letting go. It does not try to control the wind, it uses it. If the wind blows one way, the butterfly flows that way. It does not fight against the elements. It surrenders to the flow of the air. As you lie in your bed, let your spirit be like the swallowtail. Do not fight your thoughts. Do not fight the need for sleep. Let your thoughts come and go like the wind. Let your mind glide. Flap, flap, glide. Rest, rest, drift. You are riding the currents of the night, sailing effortlessly towards a morning that is still hours away. As our journey through the quiet hours of the night draws to a close, let us turn our attention to one of the most delicate and charming performances in the natural world. This is the dance of the peacock spider. It is hard to imagine that something so small could hold so much color, but nature loves to surprise us. The male peacock spider is tiny, smaller than your fingernail, yet he is dressed in a coat of vibrant iridescent hues, blues, reds, and golds that shift and change as he moves. But it is not just his colors that make him special, it is his dance. To attract a mate, he raises two flaps on his abdomen, like a fan of silk, and waves them rhythmically. He lifts his third pair of legs into the air and steps from side to side, tapping his feet. It is a tiny, high-speed jig. It is not a display of aggression, but a display of pure, exuberant life. The female watches still as a statue. If she is pleased, the dance ends peacefully. Watching this is a reminder that even the smallest beings have their own art forms, their own reasons to celebrate. They put their whole heart into a dance that lasts only seconds, but it is done with total commitment. Tonight, there is no audience watching you. You do not need to perform or dance for anyone. You can simply be, resting in the knowledge that you are enough, just as you are, without any display. Now let us drift towards the gentle, heavy buzz of the bumblebee. Unlike the sharp, fast flight of the honeybee, the bumblebee is a heavy, furry giant. It looks more like a flying teddy bear than an insect. Its body is covered in thick, soft hairs that trap air and keep it warm, allowing it to fly in cooler temperatures than most other insects. The sound a bumblebee makes is a deep, resonant thrum, a low-frequency vibration that you can almost feel in your chest. This vibration is not just a byproduct of flight, it is a tool. When a bumblebee visits a flower, it grabs the anthers with its legs and vibrates its body, shaking the pollen loose in a process called buzz pollination. It is a gentle shake, a waking up of the flower. The bumblebee is slow and deliberate. It bumbles from flower to flower, often seeming clumsy, bumping into leaves, but it always finds its way. It is a creature of the cool morning and the late evening, active when others are asleep. The sight of a bumblebee crawling deep into a foxglove or a lupin, its furry back dusted with gold, is a picture of perfect contentment. It is warm, it is fuzzy, and it is focused on the sweet nectar. Imagine that low, buzzing hum wrapping around you, a deep vibration that relaxes your muscles, shaking away the last bits of tension from the day, just like the bee shakes the pollen. Let us consider the silence of the stick insect again, but this time, focus on its movement. It does not walk forward with a steady gait, it sways. The stick insect, when it moves, often rocks its body back and forth, mimicking the movement of a branch in the wind. It is a form of motion camouflage. By matching the rhythm of the plants around it, it becomes invisible. But for us, it looks like a gentle swaying dance. It is a slow, rhythmic rocking, left to right, left to right. It creates a sense of vertigo for the predator, but for the observer, it is hypnotic. It moves with the wind, not against it. There is no struggle, no resistance. If the wind blows north, the stick insect leans north. If it blows south, it leans south. It is the ultimate example of flexibility. It teaches us that we do not need to be rigid. When the world pushes against us, we can lean into it. We can sway with the rhythm of the night. Feel yourself swaying gently in your bed. Imagine the wind is blowing softly, rocking you from side to side. You are the branch, bending but not breaking. You are swaying in the breeze, safe and secure. Deep in the stillness of a pond, we might find the water scorpion. Despite its fierce name, it is a slow, sluggish creature. It looks somewhat like a stick insect, with a long, thin body and grasping front legs, but it has a secret. At the end of its abdomen, it has a long, thin tube that acts like a snorkel. It positions itself upside down just beneath the surface of the water, with the tip of the tube poking into the air. It can stay there for hours, motionless, waiting for prey to swim by. It breathes from the surface while remaining hidden in the depths below. It is a creature of two worlds, bridging the air and the water. It does not need to choose between them, it connects them. Imagine the patience required to hang there, upside down, breathing slowly, watching the world through the lens of the water. The water scorpion is a master of ambush, but its success comes from stillness. It waits for life to come to it. As you lie here, you are also bridging two worlds, the world of wakefulness and the world of dreams. You are breathing in, breathing out, letting the air connect you. You are hanging on the edge of sleep, waiting for the dreams to drift by, patient and still, just like the scorpion beneath the surface. Let us look at the life cycle of the butterfly one last time, focusing specifically on the chrysalis. This is the jewel of the insect world. Inside the hard, shiny shell of the chrysalis, a miracle of biology is taking place. The caterpillar is not just sleeping, it is dissolving. It releases enzymes that break down its own body into a soup of living cells. The caterpillar effectively melts away. But not all cells are destroyed. Certain groups of cells called imaginal discs survive the process. They use the protein-rich soup to fuel a rapid, radical rebuilding. They grow into wings, legs, antennae, and eyes. The insect rebuilds itself from the ground up, cell by cell. This is a transformation of the highest order. It is death and rebirth. And it happens in complete silence and darkness. There is no light, no sound, no movement. It is a deep, meditative state of being. The chrysalis is often attached to a twig or a leaf by a pad of silk that looks like a tiny cushion. It hangs there, vulnerable and exposed to the weather, yet completely protected by its own hard shell. It is a symbol of the restorative power of rest. Tonight, imagine that you are in your own chrysalis. Your bed is the shell. The world outside is fading away. You are dissolving the stress of the day, turning it into energy for tomorrow. You are rebuilding yourself, cell by cell, in the quiet dark. You are becoming something new, ready to emerge when the time is right. Consider the humble earwig. While often feared for the myths surrounding its pincers, it is actually a devoted mother, one of the few insects that exhibits maternal care. The female earwig lays her eggs in a burrow and stays with them, guarding them fiercely. She cleans the eggs with her mouth to prevent fungus from growing, keeping them moist and safe. When the eggs hatch, she continues to care for the nymphs, feeding them and protecting them until they are old enough to fend for themselves. It is a touching display of tenderness in a creature often misunderstood. To see an earwig mother curled around her brood is to see a protective circle of love. It reminds us that care is not unique to large mammals. It is a fundamental force of life, present even in the smallest of creatures. It is a quiet, stubborn kind of love. She does not leave her post. She stays, she cleans, she protects. Think of your bed as a burrow. You are being protected by the walls, by the roof, by the darkness. You are being cared for by the universe, wrapped in a warmth that is ancient and deep. Now let us think about the concept of swarm intelligence in honeybees, but from a perspective of decision-making. When a hive becomes too crowded, the bees must decide on a new home. Scout bees fly out in different directions to find potential sites. When they return, they perform a waggle dance to tell the others about what they found. The distance and angle of the dance describe the location and quality of the new site. But the bees do not just vote, they debate. They dance with passion. They observe others' dances. They change their minds based on the intensity of the dances of their sisters. Eventually, a consensus is reached. The entire colony agrees on the best site, and they take to the air, a swirling cloud of life, to move together. This decision-making process is remarkably democratic and peaceful. There is no fighting, no forcing of opinions. They find the best option through communication and consensus. It is a reminder that even in a crowd, harmony can be found. As you lie here, imagine the chaos of your thoughts calming down, one by one, until they reach a consensus. The decision is made. The choice is sleep. All the bees in your mind are now flying together toward the same destination, deep, restful slumber. Let us turn our gaze to the African dung beetle once more, but this time, think about the orientation of the ball. Once the ball is rolled away from the dung pile, the beetle will stop, climb on top of the ball, and perform a little dance. It spins around on the spot. It looks like a playful twirl, but it is actually a celestial calibration. The beetle is taking a snapshot of the position of the sun, the moon, or the stars. It is fixing its course in its mind. It is aligning itself with the cosmos. It is a moment of connection between the earth and the sky. After this brief, magical twirl, the beetle climbs down and pushes its ball in a perfectly straight line. That brief moment of stillness and observation allows it to travel for long distances without getting lost. It is a pause of clarity. Tonight, before you drift off, take a moment to mentally climb on top of your ball. Look around at the darkness. Orient yourself. Check your position. Where are you? You are in your bed. You are safe. You are ready. Now, having made your calibration, you can push forward into the night in a straight line, with no fear of getting lost. And finally, let us return to the most profound sleep of all, the diapause of the praying mantis egg case, or ootheca. In the autumn, a female mantis will lay hundreds of eggs in a frothy substance that hardens into a protective, tan-colored foam block attached to a stem. This structure protects the eggs through the freezing winter, the snow, and the ice. Inside the foam, tiny nymphs are waiting. They remain dormant for the entire winter. They do not move. They do not grow. They wait. The ootheca is designed to breathe. It allows air in and moisture out, keeping the eggs dry and safe. It is a fortress of peace. The adults that created it are gone, having died at the end of the season, but the life inside remains suspended, held in a perfect state of pause. When spring finally arrives, the warmth triggers the awakening. The nymphs, tiny replicas of the adults, will emerge in a single, wriggling mass. They will spread out into the garden to begin the cycle anew. But tonight, we are in the middle of that winter. We are in the pause. The ootheca represents the ultimate trust in the cycle of life. It is the knowledge that warmth will return. You are in your own ootheca. You are protected, warm, and dry. The winter of the night surrounds you, but you are safe in your foam of blankets. You are waiting, suspended in time, until the spring of morning arrives. And so, we come to the end of our quiet journey through the hidden, peaceful world of insects. We have witnessed the glowing lanterns of fireflies, the architectural lungs of termites, the stillness of the praying mantis, and the gentle swaying of the stick insect. We have seen that even in the smallest of creatures, there are vast universes of patience, engineering, and love. They remind us that there is strength in stillness. You are safe. You are ready. Now, having made your calibration, you can push forward into the night in a straight line, with no fear of getting lost. And finally, let us return to the most profound sleep of all, the diapause of the praying mantis egg case, or ootheca. In the autumn, a female mantis will lay hundreds of eggs in a frothy substance that hardens into a protective, tan-colored foam block attached to a stem. This structure protects the eggs through the freezing winter, the snow, and the ice. Inside the foam, tiny nymphs are waiting. They remain dormant for the entire winter. They do not move. They do not grow. They wait. The ootheca is designed to breathe. It allows air in and moisture out, keeping the eggs dry and safe. It is a fortress of peace. The adults that created it are gone, having died at the end of the season, but the life inside remains suspended, held in a perfect state of pause. When spring finally arrives, the warmth triggers the awakening. The nymphs, tiny replicas of the adults, will emerge in a single, wriggling mass. They will spread out into the garden to begin the cycle anew. But tonight, we are in the middle of that winter. We are in the pause. The Oathika represents the ultimate trust in the cycle of life. It is the knowledge that warmth will return. You are in your own Oathika. You are protected, warm, and dry. The winter of the night surrounds you, but you are safe in your foam of blankets. You are waiting, suspended in time, until the spring of morning arrives. And so, we come to the end of our quiet journey through the hidden, peaceful world of insects. We have witnessed the glowing lanterns of fireflies, the architectural lungs of termites, the stillness of the praying mantis, and the gentle swaying of the stick insect. We have seen that even in the smallest of creatures, there are vast universes of patience, engineering, and love. They remind us that there is strength in stillness, and wisdom in waiting. Now, let all these images dissolve. Let the beetles, the bees, and the moths fade into the background like smoke. There are no more facts to hold, no more stories to hear. The only thing left is the quiet rhythm of your own breathing. Feel the weight of the bed holding you up. Feel the darkness wrapping around you like a protective wing. It is time to let go completely. Thank you for joining me here on the Sleepy Facts. I hope this gentle exploration of the insect world has helped to quiet your mind and soften your day. If this journey brought you a moment of peace, please like the video and subscribe to the Sleepy Facts. It helps this little corner of the internet grow, bringing gentle stories to other sleepy souls like you. But for now, there is nothing left to do. Let your eyes close. Let your thoughts drift away like leaves on a stream. You are safe. You are warm. Sleep well. Good night.